So last time I showed you how to create zero volume voxels, the three special ones, which I have in front of me. You can create a number of others, like the one I messed up on last time. But I wanted to show you a few more things you can do with these techniques. The first is to prevent blending. Now, if I place sand in the middle of a bunch of wood blocks, it should blend, so I'm going to do that. Get my selection area right here. Paint that all in wood, and I'm going to put a sand block in the middle. Doesn't really matter, but I like light colored sand. Now, I paint it, but you don't see it because it's blended completely into the sand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side CVV, paint it the same color as the sand, and you can barely see that because it's blending there, so I'm going to copy it. As you can see, it's sand colored. I'm going to delete some voxels to leave some space. You can see it still looks like wood because it's being blended from the corners. So what I want to do is take the four corners and paint them in the color of sand. Now the one in the middle looks normal, but there's blending on the four corners. What I can do now is stretch those four corners. And you see the sand is adjacent now to the wood, but it's not blending. And it's not blending because they're not actually touching. If you look at the back, there's a blank voxel space between them, and the corners are all sand, and the blending's still occurring, but it's happening to the zero volume voxel instead of to something you can see. Now I can make the back look like the front if you really want to. Copy this out. What that did was distort all the back voxels to look like the front voxels on that front surface. The back surface is still the same because mine just pasted it there. So I copied off the front surface, and there it's symmetric. So that's the first thing I wanted to show. The second one, I want to show you how to create some other microvoxels, because a lot of people are under the impression that there are only so many possible microvoxels. Oops, didn't completely clean that, did I? Okay, so to create microvoxels, let's just create a big blob of blocks. Don't really care what it looks like. Yeah, let's leave a little space from the ground. And smooth it. Meh, doesn't ugly, crazy stuff. Whatever. Copy a voxel, any voxel you like. So there's a kind of interesting looking voxel. Now I'm going to place a voxel in the air. Maybe I should switch materials so I don't keep blending. Nah. Doesn't just copy this, paste it to all four corners, but I'm going to use mirroring like I did when I was creating the CVV. So you see you got a nice rectangle up there, so it looks like we're going to get a rectangle out of this. Yep, that wasn't so much a microvoxel. So we probably want a point that comes more to the center like these guys do, except that's going to give us a nice stretched voxel. So maybe the complement of those corners. Actually, I could still work with this. They're being pulled inward, so really I just need the complement of that. So if you get a voxel you don't like, you can always just play around with it a bit. And then take the one out of the center, and it's a nice, yeah, it's a microvoxel. Actually, it's only slightly smaller than a regular voxel. And it's offset a bit. Let's try again. Like I said, the outside corners look more promising. Much smaller. Let's try a different approach. Did I not get it? So that's probably more what you're thinking of when you're thinking of a microvoxel, right? Not quite cubic, but it's not going to be cubic. It's a rectangular prism. Points are like that. You see I just started from a random old voxel. So it really doesn't matter what you start from. You can get to something like that by manipulating the corners. Take another one just for an example. That one looks like a really good one. But someone might argue it's one of those third generation microvoxels. Wonder where this one goes. I gotta love how the paste tool keeps moving things around for me. That's gonna get very annoying. And that's a really tiny microvoxel. That could be fun to work with. So my point is just that it really doesn't matter what you start with. You can create a lot of microvoxels, and you're not limited to what you can get from smoothing a single microvoxel.